happy. I've been happy ever since I heard the news that the 78 Nigerians, girls that were taken to Ivory Coast were on their way back home. And it kind of like excites me greatly, you know, because imagine if those girls were your cousin, your nephews, your nieces, your daughter, imagine how you would have felt, you know. But I just want people to have the mind for their fellow human, to have sympathy, and to also feel for people when people are in a state that they are not supposed to be. It mustn't necessarily be that the only time that you feel for your fellow human is when it's related to you. It's just like the whole thing that is happening in the country, you know. Some people are just less concerned. They don't care, you know, about the displaced people, about the people who have lost their homes, about the people who have lost their children, about the people who don't know what have happened to their sons and daughters. You know, we don't have to be that way. For the fact that it's not like you directly doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a place in your heart where you're feeling a little bit awkward for those people who happen to be victims of, you know, what has happened to them. So 78 Nigerians, girls that were in Ivory Coast, by the grace and mercy of God, they've been back home. They arrived Nigeria, I think yesterday or day before yesterday night or yesterday, you know. You see, listen, we've got to look out for each other. We've got to support each other. We've got to embrace ourselves. All that we have is ourselves. And I tell you that it is more than enough. You know, if we embrace ourselves, if we stand by each other, and we believe in the capability of unity, if we believe in, you know, the things that standing together, saying one thing is capable of doing, it's going to amaze you what we'll achieve as a people. Now listen, yeah. See, can we, the Nigerians, go past the era where we are looking for someone who is our same faith? You know what I mean? Can we go past the era where we're saying, if it's not a Christian, you know, we can't vote for him. If it's not a Muslim, we can't vote for him. If it's not from South, we can't vote for him. If it's not from the West, we can't vote for him. If it's not from the North, we can't vote for him. Can we walk past that? Please, listen, we have dwelt so much on this narrative, you know, and we can see clearly where it has taken us to. For as long as we have believed this unrealistic narrative, can we see the damages it's doing to us? Listen, let me tell you something that we Nigerians don't understand. If you sell your conscience for some crazy, flimsy excuses or belief, I want to say something to you, that do not forget that you are also going to be here for the long period of time that government is going to rule. And that you are not going to be buying commodities in the market different from other people. That if they sell a bag of rice for 100,000 naira, that you yourself are going to also purchase a bag of rice for that same amount. So why don't you do the right thing, or do what is expected for you to do, that will be beneficiary to every one of us who are living in this country as a legit citizen of this country? We've got to go past this thing called self-claim, self-belief. Can we trust God to help us vote for a person with a heart of a human? Can we trust God to help us to vote for a human being that has compassion for his fellow human being? Can we trust God to lead us to vote for somebody who will not just see himself as a leader, but see himself as a fellow Nigerian? Can we trust God to help us, you know, to go past the era where we want to look at tribalism, ethnicity, religion, and all of that, to vote for a person who will, you know, be fair to us, who will do us right, who will treat us right, who will see us as the priority. Can we trust God to help us to vote for somebody that will say that without those people that he wouldn't be a president, that without Nigerians that he won't be a governor, that without the Nigerians that he won't be a senator, that without the Nigerians that he will not be what's it called, a House of Rep member? Can we trust God to help us when we are trying to vote for the person that was supposed to lead us? Because let me tell you, it doesn't matter who you tend to vote for. If that person does not have a heart of a human being, a heart for a human being, if that person is not compassionate, if that person does not see you, the Nigerians, as a priority, if that person does not, care about you, listen, you see the sufferings that Nigerians are going through. We are still going to be in this ride until we begin to think positively, until we begin to take our minds and our judgment outside religion, outside ethnicity, outside personalities, outside belief, outside culture. We go nowhere. If you travel around the 36 states of this country, you will be amazed the manner at which people are living. Somebody was saying, with the way this country is going, a bag of cement is sold for close to like 10,000 naira. He said, can a civil servant afford to build a 1-bedroom flat? Can a civil servant afford to build a house that he will live in after he must have been retired? So in case you are busy fighting those people who are fighting for the right of Nigerians to live as a Nigeria, or who are fighting for a better Nigeria, for Nigerians to live in, you've got to think again, because you're still living in Nigeria. You are here. You are not in abroad, where the masses are the major reason why they have a country. They know that. They understand that the reason why a nation is strong is because it has its masses, is because it has its own citizens. And so they try to equip their citizens so that they can stand by themselves. And you're busy, discrediting the effort of the people who are putting their lives on the line for the sake of millions of people. The thing that you cannot dare to do. Instead of you to give them their credits, you're busy discrediting them. You see, Nigerians, we are our problems. Nigerians are their own problems. Imagine you. What's your hope? When people who are financially stable are talking, that can afford to, relocate to any country of their choice are talking, you that is busy jumping from one bike to another, you that is trusting God to help you find your bearing, you are also busy discrediting the effort of someone who has put their lives on the line so that Nigeria can be a better place for Nigerians to live in. Waiting they walk on our forehead. What is that thing that is in your head? What is the color or what is the size of your problem? Don't you know that all we have is ourselves? And don't you know that we can achieve anything by ourselves if we believe in ourselves, if we stand by each other, if we support each other, if we uphold the unity of ourselves, that there is nothing that we cannot achieve as a people. Because when one person is speaking, his voice is not as loud as when 10,000 people put together are speaking the same thing at the same time. You cannot ignore that force. Meaning that you have to reckon with the voice, and meaning that the voice must be heard. and meaning that all that the voice is requesting for will be attended to. Waiting on the